forestry map from what I gather, with some additional forestry equipment. We are going to get a Volvo truck. I believe, semi-truck. So, yay, that'll be fun. Finally get something Volvo-ish. That's, oh, I can buy top liquid fertilizer in packs. I can't fit 6,000 litres in my thing. We're just going to buy that one. At least equipment. My equipment is the beehive. 4,600. We can't fit 6,000 litres in this, so I'm not gonna buy the big pallet, because then I have to figure out how to take it back to the yard some other time. But yeah, I'm kind of not sure about. Actually, let's check the mower has stopped. Because the mower has stopped, okay. Yeah, having bought the season pass, yeah, I get what I get. I'm not sure I'm ever going to bother again. I'm going to go back to selectively buying the DLC that I think I'd actually use. One of the interesting things is the hoses and whatever it is DLC pack that's just come out, which isn't, obviously, it's a third-party production sponsored by Giants, not part of the Year 1 DLC. I have not bought it. It looks good. And it does kind of fit with my farming, some of my farming methods. But I'm not sure I'm really that into it. I need to cab drive for a minute. Maybe if we got to the point where I'm doing slurry spreading on the fields because our cows are producing so much of it, then it might be worth me paying for, just because it would make the series a little bit more interesting. But really at the moment, I'd be fine buying a normal slurry tank and dragging the slurry out from the cow pasture or whatever, shed. Okay, I know I can get to this field from this direction somehow, some way. I just need to figure out where the back road is. Because all the fields on this edge of the map are accessible from an access road that runs close to the edge of the map. It's basically, this road runs one field over. We've still got the crop sensors on, it's still on automatic spread, but I'm thinking it might be a good plan to run this field with GPS. And we've already sprayed this one once. And obviously, so the plan on this piece of equipment, I am planning to get longer arms, which is going to make reversing it so much easier. Or at least it's going to give long haulers some additional fodder for his reversing comments. But no, it could. The thing is it does the job I need it to do. It doesn't need to be bigger, but I could do more jobs if it was. So, yeah. That's basically a thing. Okay, auto width. 18 meters. I'm going to drop it to... No, yes. 17.8. It's a good overlay. We will set a 0 degrees. Turn on the thing. Set us into drive. Turn on the sprayer. Make sure it stays on, and off we go. So yeah, just the whole thing of if the boom's longer, then we get the jobs done faster. But I will have, the upgrade will be a one-shot stop upgrade. We will upgrade to the size I want it to be. We're not going to do any half measure upgrades. And that's kind of like with the Massey Ferguson. We upgraded that to 125 because I don't think it ever needs to be bigger. We've got this tractor that can do everything else. The Massey Ferguson can pull every piece of equipment we have currently. And it doesn't need to be 145 meters. It doesn't have a 3-point front linkage and PTO because I don't need it on that tractor. It's kind of limited scope. It's got a front loader, and the front loader was fitted when we bought it. So I'm kind of happy with, it was only 105 horsepower. We did need more than 105. But it's not going to be doing major carting. It's not going to be collecting tons of bales or selling tons of bales. It's just a get out there, do a little bit of light work and go home. This is our big tractor at the moment. I do need something that's got a little over 300 horsepower, and then we can think about upgrading our mowing equipment. And when we do that, we are gonna start restricting what tractors can do what job just based on their horsepower capabilities. Kind of would like to buy a forest on this map at some point, and we will do a little bit of logging just because it's something we can fill the time in over the winter period. Because right now I am generally doing a lot of, it's November, it's the last cut of the year, okay, now it's March, between streams. And all I've done during, November, December, January is sell the crops that we've produced. Now I do recall someone was saying, actually I want to go here first. Pallets of pig food, is it? Bags of pig food. Bags of pig food. Pig food is £900. Now I think on easy mode, pig food is cheaper than crop sale. So it's actually better to sell the crops you make, and no, reversing comments are fine. I'm now ribbing you right back. The reversing comments are fine. Yeah, sorry. So with pig food is a constant price. It's £900 for a bag. I think that's 1,000 litres. So the deal is if you can sell your crop for more than that, and if you're playing in easy mode, you can sell your crop for more than that, all of the crops for more than that. You don't want to feed your pigs the crops that you harvest, because it's just not worth it. You get more money selling the crops and then buying back pig food, which kind of makes sense. You're selling your crop is a super awesome grade of crop, and everybody wants it, and you're buying the leftovers to feed the pigs. Okay, this is the path we want. And the tractor just came to a stop. Okay, so if we look at our crop prices, however, wheat's 400, canola 7, sorghum's 5, sunflowers is 7, soybeans, not worth using soybeans as pig food because pig food is cheaper. Corn should be about 500, and sugar beets is 148. So really the only food source that is better for is better to grow than to buy pig food for is the sugar beets. So kind of why bother? And did I say hello, Ben? And patchwork, I forget. And how does the stream quality look today? I think it's you that keeps commenting on it. Yeah, I usually don't bother. I'm not easily offended by stuff. So, yes. But yes, so because we're paying hard mode, and actually this map is very hard mode. The economy is not the greatest. It would appear that growing your own food to feed your pigs is definitely the way to go, because you will get less for selling your grains than you will spend buying the pig food. So, and that's markedly different. Our first series was on Lawfolds, and Lawfolds has an incredibly easy hard mode. The economy is on that map in FS17 is quite heavily boosted, such that hard mode on Lawfolds is like playing easy mode on most of the other maps in Farm Sim 17. So I'm kind of happy I did play hard mode on that map, because it did slow down our expansion, but even after 2 years we owned pretty much half of the fields on the map. Oakfield Farm, we also played hard mode, and I think we did okay, but I think we did okay because we used the proceeds from Lawfolds to create a big starter farm. We had the big starter farm, we had the big equipment, and so it really was a fast moving start. This series we've gone back to starting from scratch. We had little to no money, little to no, or a fair amount of debt. We could afford very few fields and this one tractor and a lot of rental equipment. So the growth here is very slow, plus the income from crops is also very slow. So this is probably the hardest playthrough we've done so far on a Saturday. Do I regret picking hard mode for this? No, I don't think so. I think we're doing okay. We own a couple of productions, so we can turn all of our grains into stuff, bread. Actually, that is one thing, because we're looking at turning all of our grains into bread, which is there, and bread does sell for twice what you buy pig food from. But then there is loss of production volume between growing crop, turning into flour, turning into bread. And JWoww, good morning. Welcome to Saturday morning stream. I think for me, I've got used to playing Start from Scratch. We did it with Ungertheim, and that was just an awesomely fun series. Our tractor was a two-wheel drive 95 horsepower. Basically piece of junk, but we used it for an entire series, and it served us well until we figured out it couldn't pull what were we trying to pull? We were trying to pull the cultivator, which was effectively just a drag, kind of like a field harrow, which is sort of a metal grid with spikes on it that you drag across the field to break up the soil surface, and it couldn't pull it until we put big wheels, big tyres, wide wheels, big tyres on it, which was kind of amusing because it only needed 35 horsepower and we had 95, but just because you've got the power to pull it, you also kind of need the traction to pull it, and we didn't have that. So, but I kind of enjoyed running that series. I did not get the Hoses DLC. I bought the series. I've kind of gone through this already this morning. I bought the season pass, and I thought the Kubota tractors were kind of okay, as one of the many DLCs that came out this year. I thought the Antonio Carrera pack was, frankly, I'm just not going to use it. So I could have saved my money and just bought the Kubota tractor DLC. I'm going to get the Platinum DLC, and I'm probably not going to use the map, and I'm probably not going to be using the forestry equipment from it. If it's got a Volvo semi-truck, which I hear, so if we go to trucks, if I'm going to get this with a Volvo sign on the front, yeah, that'll be nice. But yeah, it's sort of, I've got to be a little bit, as I said, I've got to be a little bit more judicious in what DLC I buy. Because a lot of the time I'm buying it because it came out, and then I'm never using it. Big Bud, I've never used a Big Bud tractor. I'm not necessarily a Volvo fan, I just like to have a little bit of options in what I run. So you'll frequently, some series I had a Scania truck on the series because it wasn't the MAN truck. Not because I'm averse to MAN trucks, it's just I like to spread things about. So, Volvo truck, I'm going to, I bought the year one season pass, fine. So I'm getting all of the DLC for year one. I'm incredibly unlikely to buy the season 2 DLC. Season pass, and I will pick and choose which ones I buy. And traditionally I skip out on the DLC that comes out in September before the next version of Farm Sim comes out, just because I'm really not going to get a lot of use out of it. I think I did buy the Grimmer DLC, I didn't buy the Rodney, and I bought the Grimmer DLC because it was Farm Sim 22, Farm Sim 19, and we were doing a lot of sugar beet harvesting and potato harvesting on that series, and I wanted to give the DLC a chance. I found it a total pain in the butt to use, and if you can afford a $500,000 piece of potato harvesting equipment, it's so much easier than using the small stuff. Sugar beet equipment's not too bad. I don't mind using the tractor hauled sugar beet harvesting equipment. It's not as capable as the big giant self-propelled thing, but it gets you there. Also, the jury is still out on whether we're adding Maize Plus to this series. I'm kind of thinking I'd like to. I do know it's going to seriously boost the amount of natural fertilizer and milk that we get from our cows. But it is going to make their feeding a lot more hectic. I was watching one of the videos from Disturbed Simulations this week, he's their English-speaking ambassador for the farming agency, among other things. He also does his own mods. And he was saying the reason to run 3-day seasons with Maize Plus is because otherwise you're going to be feeding your cows 2 to 3 times a day. Whereas with 3-day seasons, the amount of food they need per game day is 1/3 of what they need for a month. So there's that. However, he does say that you're not going to be able to run dairy farms of 250 plus cows, and potentially we can run 700. He also said that the feeding robots don't work with Maize Plus because they can't keep up with the feeding schedule. And that's an interesting deal here, because our cow sheds are capable of feeding 700 cows. And so, did I complete this? No, it's still active. We're still working. How is LH doing? Who is LH? So I'm still, as I said, I'm still considering adding Maize Plus to this playthrough. Oh, long hauler. Okay, sorry, not a question for me. But yes, we'll see where we go. And yeah, as far as equipment's concerned, I'm kind of adding equipment as we go along, as I identify a need for it. We do have parts of the Vicon Caverneland DLC that was. Giants have released that equipment as single entities. So you can have the sprayer that looks like this in red, you can have the front tank, rear hard-mounted tank sprayer, but they're all, you have to select each one as an individual mod to add to the game. The Kubota equipment is a pack like the Caverneland DLC pack was a pack. You load one mod and you get 15 pieces of equipment. Now, the manufacturing facility for Caverneland and Kubota are in the same building. I could swear this is probably done and I missed the message. Let's get paid. See if there's another fertilizing contract. 72 might be on the way home. Right there. Now we come out of there, we go along there. 72 might be accessible from where we are. We might have to go, well, we'll see. Let's pick 72 while we're here. pretty sure we've got enough liquid stuff in the back to do it. And I should probably check on our Massey Ferguson. He's probably done. Pretty much. Okay. Turn the engine on. Back up a little bit. Actually, he is not done. He has completely messed up. So, one of my big complaints with workers is that sometimes they just do the wrong thing. And right here, our worker has done the wrong thing. If you start a worker on the edge of the field, obviously they can't turn off the field, so they do the rest of the field. But if they get stopped on the way, then they just do an awful job. And so potentially I will start this worker here. Actually, we can lower the mower and use the manoeuvrability of our Massey to get somewhat online. And send the worker off. It's a 50-50 chance the worker will turn left or right at the end of this field. And if he turns left, he will keep going and try and remow the stuff that's already mowed. If he turns right, he'll complete the entire field and probably keep going. But it's something I've noticed is a problem with FarmSim22 workers. They are a little bit unreliable on that. Okay, I think I might have to travel further south before we can come back. But there's a break in the hedge over to the right where those trees are. That leads us to the next block of stuff. Actually, I just started watching Disturbed Simulations playthrough on this map. It's an older start playthrough, and I'm not that far into it. But one of the things he's done is he's turned off. Am I far enough over? I don't know. Yeah, maybe. He's turned off worker payments. So workers don't get an hourly pay. What he's done instead is he's put some cash sinks on the map that drain $5,000 for each worker.